There are 200 people in this room. Music is playing. Someone is laughing too loudly near the bar. And you are standing in the middle of all of it, feeling something that makes no sense. Something quiet and heavy and completely invisible. You feel alone. Not sad, not shy, alone. In a room with 200 people. And the strangest part? Almost everyone else in that room feels exactly the same way right now. They are just pretending too. But here is what nobody tells you. That feeling is not a glitch. It is a message. And it is 300,000 years old. Your brain did not evolve for this world. It evolved for a much smaller, much older one. For most of human history, the overwhelming, nearly incomprehensible majority of it, you lived inside a group of roughly 150 people. You knew every face, every history, every betrayal, and every loyalty. You knew who snored, who lied, who would share their food when yours ran out. That group was not just your social life. It was your immune system, your food supply, your protection from predators, your entire reason for surviving the night. British anthropologist Robin Dunbar proved this in the 1990s by mapping the relationship between neocortex size and stable social group size across primates. The math pointed to the same number every time, 150. It is now called Dunbar's number, and your brain is still running that software, right now, in a world that looks nothing like the one it was built for. When you walk into a room of 200 strangers, your social brain does not see a party. It sees a system failure. It sees 200 unclassified faces with no hierarchy, no history, no map. And a social brain without a map does not feel curious. It feels exposed. Your nervous system shifts into a quiet, exhausting threat state. Not panic, but something subtler, a low hum of wrongness. A signal that keeps repeating the same word underneath everything else. Danger, danger, danger. That signal has a name. Loneliness. And here is the thing almost everyone gets wrong about it. Loneliness is not about being alone. It never was. Neuroscientist and social psychologist John Cacioppo spent 2 decades studying loneliness at the University of Chicago and found something that should permanently change how you think about this feeling. Your brain processes social disconnection the same way it processes physical pain. The same regions activate, the same distress signals fire. When you feel lonely, your brain is not being dramatic. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, treating social isolation as a bodily emergency. Because for your ancestors, it was. Being separated from the group did not feel bad. It got you killed. So your brain built an early warning system, a signal that fires before you are fully cut off, to push you back toward connection before it is too late. That is what loneliness is. It is not a character flaw. It is a smoke detector. The problem is that your smoke detector was calibrated for a world that no longer exists. And now it goes off constantly in rooms full of people because your ancient brain cannot tell the difference between being exiled from a Paleolithic camp and being ignored at a rooftop bar. Now, here's where it gets genuinely strange. The more people you surround yourself with, the worse the signal can get. Researchers at the University of Arizona found that the volume of social interaction has almost no effect on feelings of loneliness. What matters is depth. People who had more substantive conversations, real exchanges about ideas, fears, meaning, reported dramatically lower loneliness than people who had dozens of shallow daily interactions. Your brain is not counting contacts. It is scanning for recognition, for the specific neurological experience of being genuinely known by another person. And it is ruthlessly good at detecting when that experience is missing. Small talk does not fool it. Likes and follows do not fool it. A room full of acquaintances does not fool it. Your nervous system knows the difference between a real connection and a performance of one. It has always known. And modern life has perfected the performance. Think about what a typical day actually delivers your brain. You wake up and scroll through a feed of faces you half recognize. You tap a heart. You send 3 words in reply to a message. You sit in a meeting and discuss timelines. You smile at the barista. By every external measure, you have been surrounded by people all day. By your brain's internal measure, you have made 0 real contact. Because the social architecture running underneath your consciousness does not register transactions. It registers moments of being seen, of mattering to someone who knows your actual history, of existing in someone else's mind when you are not in the room. Those moments are becoming rare, and the consequences are not subtle. Epidemiologist Julianne Holt-Lunstad at Brigham Young University has published some of the most cited research in modern medicine on what loneliness actually does to a human body. The findings are almost difficult to believe. Chronic loneliness is associated with a 26% increase in the risk of premature death. It is more damaging to your long-term health than obesity. It is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. The World Health Organization declared loneliness a global public health concern in 2023. Not because people are spending more time physically alone, but because the quality of human connection has collapsed at precisely the moment when the quantity of it has never been higher. That is not irony. That is a design flaw in the civilization. But here is the twist, the part that changes how you think about all of this. Cacioppo's research also found something about what chronic loneliness does to the brain over time. It makes it worse at connecting. A brain that has been lonely too long becomes hypervigilant to social threat. It starts reading neutral faces as hostile. It anticipates rejection before any signal has been sent. It pulls inward exactly when reaching out is the only thing that would help. The loneliness itself rewires the system that is supposed to fix it. Not because you are weak, because your threat detection software has been running in emergency mode for so long that it has started treating everyone as a potential source of danger, including the people who might actually know you if you let them. This means the answer is not what you think it is. The answer is not more people. Your brain is not impressed by volume, and it never will be. The answer is not more events, more networking, more followers, more nights out. The answer, the one that Cacioppo's data, Holt-Lunstad's data, and decades of attachment research all point to, is that having even 1 or 2 relationships characterized by genuine mutual understanding is enough to quiet the alarm entirely. 1 person who knows your actual history. 1 conversation that goes somewhere real. That is the threshold. Not 150, not 500. 1. Your brain spent 300,000 years being satisfied by that. It still is. So tonight, when you are standing in a full room and that signal starts firing, you will know exactly what it is. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something very old inside you is still working perfectly. Still watching, still scanning, still asking the only question it has ever really cared about. Not how many people are in this room, but does anyone in this room actually know you? That question is as old as your species. And the reason it still hurts when the answer is no is the same reason you are still here to ask it.